Hello, this is Infrastructure Leader Shankar Chandran here. I'm here to share with you my experience in the industry of infrastructure for over 20 years and how important it is for leaders to have to create a pipeline. Yeah, in my experience with the kind of evolution, technology evolution that is driving the pace at which the market is growing, it's important that we leaders create pipeline, and that probably is puts or an organization to kind of a situation to face any kind of volatility in the marketplace, especially in certain areas which I will discuss with you. And you would realize how important it is for leaders to establish their leadership pipeline. So let's look at certain scenarios specifically, and we are talking about infrastructure space where organizations do have certain concerns that drives the leadership to be ready to face situations. When we talk about the vast numbers, if you looked at the top 50 organizations, that in the whole world, when we pull them together and then we ask them, how are things in the in terms of leadership development, one of the biggest concerns they came with is about the large number of leaders that is going to retire in the next 5 years. Now, having heard that from these top 50 organizations, why the pipeline was not set up was the first question that came up. But I guess when you know the problem, rather than looking back, we're supposed to look forward. So that's the key in terms of why we have to start preparing, our leadership pipeline. And let's look at the next, solid then. So we look at solid companies, using solid leadership program, but they are not getting the results. Now, why is that they're not getting the results? It's because the leadership is not, there's no metric to measure the success rate at which these programs are delivered and successful leadership are developed. There is no measure. Leaders aren't being measured for at least the leadership development part of it. And then, if you look at the common core of the United Message for many companies, HR is a very silo organization. While the anticipation was that HR integrates into management force to support and strategize a leadership development program, I guess they remained silos, and the leadership actually went on to focus too much onto the business and left that to HR to come and support it on need basis. So primarily that's the big flaw that took place, at least at the relationship level between the business and the HR. And then we're talking about metrics, right? Everyone has performance metrics. And I guess if you look at from the HR standpoint, leaders define metrics for people to deliver. But what effectively happened was the leaders themselves did not have a metric to measure. While they had a quantitative and a qualitative way of delivering their KPI, especially in the area of business, but the leadership development, which was a key area, was remained unmeasurable. So it was important that we define these metrics for leaders so that it can be introduced as part of the KPI and it can be measured. And that's when a concrete step can go in a positive direction for the leadership pipeline. And let's look at in terms of the stages, right? It's not easy for you to go back and build leadership pipeline, right? There are stages associated with it. Number one, we're talking about self-management, right? If you look at any organization, before you become a manager or you want to call yourself a leader, you have to first learn how to manage yourself. When you know you can manage yourself, and when you are a role model, and that's when you're actually ready to manage a set of people, right? That's when you call yourself the first-line manager, when you have a direct set of people reporting to you. And then we have the second-line manager, where you manage the managers, at least a set of first-line managers reporting to you, and then your span of control pretty much about 100 plus. And then you're managing a set of function, like probably in the infrastructure, you're talking about a service line, or in a global infrastructure management support, we're talking about a competency-based managers. And then we're talking about a regional-based autonomy, where leaders have direct responsibility to costs, especially in the area of infrastructure. Or you're talking about commercial offer, you're talking about people responsible for P&L. And then holistic leadership, who defines values in terms of what kind of products you want to bring forward globally from the organization standpoint. So that's called holistic leadership. And then probably people who define what the visionaries and what kind of organization you want to develop, and then how you want to take this organization forward. So holistically, these are the kind of stages every leader will have to go through. Having said that, right, having gone through this kind of stages, if you ask me, what have I done to create leadership pipeline? Now, I guess when you go into the previous slide, I told you the stages, right? Now, we have to look at it holistically. The leadership development will have to take place at all levels. In the first place, what I did was, at the operation level, first line manager level, I made it a point that people rotate their portfolios every 18 months. Now, two benefits I got of it. One was the skilling level of the people at the operational level broadened. So, at the over a period of 3 years, all my first line managers knew more than two technological skills and their areas. And then pretty much, how I handled this was to internally train, cross-train the managers with specific knowledge, especially in the area of managing people, managing disputes. These, I had to get through shared, infrastructure that was given by the companies using their, philosophy. And then once we completed that, and when we identified the potentials, right, at least the top potentials, what I did was to start assigning them for projects, special projects, where they could go back and demonstrate their learnings and display their leadership values that they have learned. And over a course of time, they are actually ready for taking up the leadership. And then, as and when our opportunity is available, we move them and give them the opportunity to go back and take on the roles. And then, as part of the other people who remain in the pipeline, we continue to give them mentoring in the other areas so that over a course of time they can go back and go and occupy the roles. So when the company expands or when we acquire other organizations and the organization is growing horizontally or vertically, that is when the other leaders can come back and add value and grow your organization. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is the first thing that a leader should, believe in is not to see a threat with it, right? I guess when we're talking about leadership pipeline, the fundamental philosophy the leaders come with is what happens to me and what happens, will my position be relocated? I guess that's a good point to think about. And if you're going to sustain your seat and by using this pipeline to competitive benefit of the organization, the other features like trying to build yourself a knowledge base and trying to show yourself a better advantage over other candidates is important. So you cannot go back and say that I am under threat for developing this. No, you develop the pipeline and you develop yourself, because if you develop yourself, you're probably ready for the next role. So that is why I'm saying, that's the experience I wanted to share, and that's the message I want to carry forward to the leaders, is to go back and focus on developing leadership pipeline. And thanks for being with me. And if you have any feedbacks, kindly share that with him. I'm more than happy to respond back to you. Thank you very much.